Monday, but I kind of wanted to wait until after the election because I felt like what a good opportunity for a video than, you know, the day after the presidential election of the United States of America, and considering not only the presidential election of the United States of America, but arguably one of the biggest. Um, there's a lot of people talking about seeing all sorts of tweets, people referring to this as, how big of a disaster we potentially dodged by Donald Trump getting elected. Uh, we'll get more into that here in a minute. But yeah, we were going to film earlier, but we waited till last minute. So Bradley's got off work. She's in her scrub. She's been working. But some updates this year for Christmas we've been talking about. We'll start with some fun stuff. For Christmas, we decided that instead of the gifts and the presents, we were going to be taking a trip together and going to a Kevin Hart comedy show.
It's locked in, huh? I thought we were discussing it, but we're locking it in.
Well, it's just with
presents for each other.
Yeah, so we've done this in the past. We did this where we kind of took trips instead of the gifts for each other. We're gonna go back that route this year. Not completely because we want to. I mean, basically, after the last 4 years of what we've experienced with this administration, it's not all. We can't really do the presents and the gifts. Money's tight. Things aren't necessarily going the best financially for a lot of people, I think. Now, though, that we've had a change of power, hopefully these next 4 years, we might be able to get some money back in our pocket. Maybe we'll get around to presents and a trip. Maybe get both of those things in there.
I'd prefer just the 2 trips. We've never been big on presents. Quit playing.
Oh, God. Yeah, no, but seriously, that's what we're thinking about doing, going on this trip. We're looking at, Detroit or Chicago? I've never been to Detroit.
We were, up by Detroit, though, when we were at Grand Rapids, were we not? Is that not
across the state. But, I mean, yeah, it's not that far, but yeah.
A couple hours, maybe?
Probably.
Yeah. I think Chicago will line out the best with your, work schedule and timing-wise and everything. Plus, our parents might just buy us the tickets. I don't know.
Detroit or Chicago. Yeah, either one I'm good with. You can smoke weed at both places, so, While we're, I'm glad you brought that up.
Brought what up?
For the people that don't know, I brought up the subject of weed and we're talking about Detroit and Chicago.
Yeah, you did.
I just think it's relevant to talk about just the price differences of dispensaries from Michigan to Illinois. And I don't think the people of Illinois know or understand how wildly expensive the stuff is that they have to pay for in the state of Illinois. And it's after going to Michigan for the first time and experiencing that, it made me sick to think about.
Not that that's what we solely went for.
No, that's not the only reason we went at all, but I did just ask some locals about it while I was there. And
please, you were researching as we were on our way there.
But anyway, that really is what we're thinking. Detroit, Chicago. We're going to check out some Kevin Hart. Never been to a comedy show. That'll be fun.
Brad and Rachel went. They said it was hilarious.
Oh, yeah, they went and saw Kevin Hart, yeah.
Said it was worth the money. They went in St. Louis. That would have been Would have been an easy one to get to too, but
I had this whole again, just going back to the election, just because it is super relevant and it's hilarious, and I know that you said you have people that are outspoken about being Kamala supporters, and I spent all day today on Twitter just watching the compilation videos of all the libtards that are crying, and I had to see if I could get this video pulled up on there, but it was a video of this black woman, and she was crying her eyes out. And she stops, and then she looks at the camera, and she says, "I could wake up a slave tomorrow." And she was being completely serious, bawling her eyes out. And I think that shit is hilarious. And I think it's comical to watch. I wasn't rooting for her. I did not want her to win. For multiple different reasons, but even if she had, I just can't imagine that I would be sitting here right now crying. It just seems a little extra to me. I wrote down some notes because this whole podcast I just wanted to be relevant, and so I thought the best way to do that was just explain how. Whenever I made the comments earlier about the economic hardships that we've faced, and anyone in that middle class bracket that says they're better off now than they were 4 years ago, you're lying. I'm sorry. I said it. I'm saying it. You're lying. Some of the things that we've went through the last couple of weeks, just to explain, just to keep things relevant with everyone. We've been having to fight off the vultures. I don't know if you've been seeing them or not, but we've had these people driving by, looking at the house, getting all behind on the payments. Had a guy show up the other day, repossessing the truck. I had to explain to him, "Sir, the truck you're looking for is not even here. It's getting worked on in the shop. That's my father-in-law's truck out there. That's not the one." They told me they didn't care. They were taking a truck. So I gave them the keys to your dad's truck. They ended up taking it. What else was I going to tell them about? Oh, we had that guy show up the other day. Take one of the dogs. Said he's going to have to hold one of the dogs.
I guarantee I would trade you before I trade one of the dogs.
He started mentioning something about research, newest series of jabs coming out, end of the month. Animals, I don't know. Took one of the dogs. We might be getting him back, hopefully, now that we got Trump back in the White House. Waiting to hear back on the dog. These are just some of the things that we've had to deal with. Especially these last couple of months, things getting tight. But now, like we said, we're turning things back around. Hopefully, we can now get some money back in our pockets. We'll get the dog back.
That's not funny to joke about.
Presents and trips.
Don't talk about Gus like that.
I wasn't talking about Gus.
The fuck were you talking about?
No, we're not. We didn't have to give up a dog. We didn't.
I'd sell a kidney before I gave up a dog.
I'm kidding.
You gotta be strategic about the truck payments and the mortgage payments, though. They're not showing up at the house, but...
And it really is. I think it's a lot of people. And I was just talking to my parents the other day, and I stopped by there, and again, like I just said, you just can't sit here and say that we're just in a better place as a nation right now than we were. And I think that's what a lot of people wanted. I think that's where Kamala lost a lot of people, was that it's not a secret that things are not well right now. And the people weren't even looking to blame Kamala for it. They just wanted her to acknowledge what has transpired the last few years, and that's what led us to the point that we're at now as a country. And all people were really wanting was just for her to step up and be like, okay, yeah, things went south, things didn't quite go as planned, this got away from us, and just be honest about it. And instead of just no sense of accountability for what happened for the state that we're in. Um, and yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't. I know. Again, and I didn't really get interested in this stuff until just within the last 6 to 8 months. Whenever I feel like it started to get worse, prices started getting worse, um, money started getting tighter. That's whenever it started to get my attention. I was like, okay, yeah, this is really actually a problem. And I think due to things like Elon Musk and the things he's done with X and the way they've been able to kind of shut mainstream media out in this new era of podcasting and free speech platforms. And, that's just, again, another one of the many reasons why I just couldn't. And I mean, I've never identified with either party, and I don't think I ever will, or I would ever. I could tell you what side I align more with, but I would never be like, yeah, I'm a this or that. It's just about what ideas are aligning best, and for us, and it just I can't get behind the wide open borders, the illegal immigration. I know this was one of their big talking points regarding all the illegals that have been coming in. You want my opinion on the situation? If you're here illegally, get the fuck out. Period. Mass deportation, I'm here for it. I don't know how they're going to go about it. I don't know. They're going to go door to door. I don't know. It's not my problem to figure out. But there's people that wait a long time to come here the right way, spend a lot of money, go through the proper channels, and I know it's not easy.
I do think, yeah, it could be a better process. I don't think that means you should just do it incorrectly, but I'm sure that, yeah, I don't know the exact process of it, but I have heard people say that it takes a lot of time, and I'm sure it takes a lot of money too, but I don't know. So I think they could revamp that.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I do think that's, something that should be revisited, something that should be looked at.
But I will say, like, I feel like I've heard, like, immigrants that did come here, like, the legal way and things like that, and, like, the few that I've heard, like, they're on board with, like, they're, like, pissed off that, like, the other immigrants are here, like, illegally and just, like, getting by with it after all the hard work that they went through and everything to get here the right way.
Yeah, I was watching some interviews of them interviewing a Latino community, and they were telling them about it, and they were asking them about the illegal immigration, and yeah, they were completely upset about it. And they said, we know criminals from these countries that we came from that they are now allowing over here illegally. These are people that we know to be criminals from whenever we lived in these countries. And so, yeah, these people that are coming in illegally. It's not just affecting, you know, born here citizens. It's the people that have, again, and that's what it would have to be infuriating. If you did everything the right way, you come here the right way, you spend all these years trying to get here, and you do it. You're living the American dream. You're making it happen, and then you have to watch these other people that are getting handed flights to whatever city they want to in the United States. They're getting put up in luxury hotels. Goodness. They're being given, cash Visa debit cards with thousands of dollars on them.
Yeah, how do you think we get on that list?
Right. Yeah, I want to know what I have to do. And that has to just be a huge slap in the face to the people that did take the time to come here the right way. And so with that alone, that's why I can't get behind that. I know we've kind of talked about it, and we can talk about it a little bit again, but I think the fact that basically they ran their entire campaign just off of mainly like the idea of abortion. That was like their hottest topic throughout the whole thing. And um, for the people listening, if you want, what are your thoughts on abortion? What do you think? I know we've kind of talked about this, and I'll give my
Yeah.
thoughts, and um, whatever it can, if it's controversial for people, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I've never like been put in a position to need an abortion or, you know what I mean? Like, I guess I've never been put in that situation, so I can't say for sure. Like, if I was, like, obviously, if we got pregnant now, it'd be pretty ideal since we've been trying. But I do think that there are certain circumstances, like in my mind, that if I got pregnant by like a rape or incest or, you know what I mean, like I was a child or, and not like a child like 16, like I made stupid decisions at 16, but like if it would have happened, like I feel like that would have been something that I had to live with or whatever. But I think that a child like born out of hate, out of, you know, like something like a rape or like an incest or something like that, like I don't think that that is good for anyone or I don't know. I just think that's like really mentally like taxing. Like I don't know how I would get through that. Or obviously, if it's medically necessary, I think that that should be a given. But I think that there should be more education, like regarding not that like most people don't like obviously know how they get pregnant, but I don't know. I think that in like school, abstinence is the only thing that gets taught, and like how many high school kids are actually truly being abstinent or even like college kids. So I just think that there should be more education regarding that. Or I think, I mean, and once again, I don't know. I feel like you've done more research on like what a fetus looks like at X amount of weeks and things like that. But I think that there's like a grace period that if you catch it early enough, and once again, not use it as a form of birth control, but if you catch it early on and you notice that there's like medical defects and things like that, and like that's not something that you can't give the child like an appropriate life, like then I think that you should have the choice to, or if they're not going to have like quality life in general, like if they're going to be wheelchair bound or like non-communicative or like a vegetable, like something like that, like I don't know, that's my kind of where I stand on it. I think that would be the reasons that I would consider one, but
Yeah, I think the big idea that gets kind of pushed, or that is kind of that the left kind of throws out there about the right, I think, is a sense of like they the idea is that the right thinks that once you get pregnant, you are absolutely bound by one with that child to the end, no ifs, ands, or buts, and that's it, period. And to my understanding, that's not what they've ever said. Um, to my understanding, again, in with the exceptions of rape and incest, um, or again to save the woman's life, that was never taken off the table. I see that's one of the main arguments that gets thrown back is the well-being of the woman. Um, and to my understanding, nobody's ever tried to take that away. It's always been out there and known and said that if it is necessary to save the woman's life, then it's okay, it's acceptable, which I agree with. I think if you're talking about losing the mother's life, I think in that moment you save the mother's life. And I know there's a lot of mothers that probably wouldn't agree to that, and that's a whole nother discussion. And that's not for me or I think any other man to decide in that moment. Um, but I do think in that situation, again, that's an exception. I think where a lot of people a lot of people begin to see the issue, and then people say this isn't happening, but it is, and it's happening in states like Minnesota where these people are having abortions all the way up to the 9-month period, and they have laws in place where whenever these babies are born that somehow halfway survived the abortion and are now out of the mother's womb, they have laws in place that that have basically blocked them from allowing life-saving procedures to the child, and they just let the child die.
Yeah, I forgot what that was called. Yeah, I don't remember where I heard that too, but there's like a specific medical term for it. Like
Mm-hmm.
instead of like a code or something like that, they run it as something else. But I don't know a lot about that. Like I haven't actually like really looked into that. But it's crazy to me that once
For a long
again,
time, that was being pushed again by mainstream media, saying that was not true, that was conspiracy. Those things were not happening. False, they are.
yeah, I think that kind of gets hazy too. Like, is it truly like the state or the hospital or whatever that's like being like, yeah, they tried to have an abortion or whatever? I don't know. I don't know.
Well, they're worried about facing years in prison.
Yeah,
I mean, whenever you have laws in place, that's what you're now. Even, if you have doctors that do want to do something or whatever the case may be, you're now thinking, well, fuck, like now I'm facing prison
yeah.
if I do something I'm not supposed to do. And
It's also hard for me to like, I understand that this is like a privileged comment too, like, because I've seen like people be like, oh, you're just privileged. Not to me personally, but like, I guess in a way, like, yeah, I get it. Like when people say that to other people, that like, they're like, okay, well, you could just go to a state that does allow the abortions or whatever. And they're like, well, that's a really privileged answer. But at the end of the day, even if that is privileged for me to say, like, all I'm saying is I see people that have $0, zero, not a car, barely a house, and they still find a way to like make it to a bar or make it multiple places. So I just think that
if you really wanted to get there,
maybe it's naive of me to think that, but yeah, I just think that at the end of the day, someone's got to be willing to do something. I don't think that they should. I heard another thing that they were like, even if you got across the state lines and you got somewhere that an abortion was legal, when you get back to your state, they could like prosecute you for it. And like, I don't think that they should be doing all that. And I don't even know if that's true or not, but like, I don't think they should be able to look at your medical records and be like, oh, you went out of state. You
I think
left
that
our
was
state.
another lie that was being pushed. That they were
Yeah.
saying that at one time they were saying that maybe Trump was. I don't know. I can't remember if that's even true or
Yeah.
not.
Just hypothetically, like, if it was
Something
true,
about
like, I don't agree with
them
that.
tracking
But
women and being able,
yeah,
once they figure out a woman's like kind of cycle, they can
that's
start
a
tracking
whole
these
job. And
women.
it's,
And
yeah,
then there's a whole conspiracy that kept going, talking about where then they can start tracking women's like bank accounts and like when are they buying tampons? Oh, they
that's
haven't bought.
crazy to me.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because
That's
I can
that.
barely
None of
keep
that I think was
track.
true, but it was just a conspiracy. It was just one of those
Yeah,
fun
I would
videos
say
that was fun
I
to
can
watch.
barely keep track of my own cycle. If someone else wants to keep track of it for me, I'll let them. But I
Yeah,
just think
no,
it's really difficult. I mean,
I don't think there's any credit. I think that
and
was
you
all
can't
just a
like,
fun video, but.
right, because things like that like are not predictable at all. I've been tracking mine for a year, and if you're going off of my bank accounts on when I bought tampons, you're going to be more confused than ever.
I think where we make a mistake too with it is thinking that a topic such as abortion is a black and white matter. And I think that's where we make a big mistake in thinking that everything is just a cut and dry black and white. And I think that's a situation where every single case is unique and every case is different, and there should be exceptions. And I know if you start punching a whole bunch of exceptions and holes in these laws, it starts getting sloppy quick. So it is one of those things. It's easier to just draw the line in the sand, and you're just gonna piss some people off, and some people are gonna like it. But I think that's kind of one of the issues with it is us kind of us going at that topic with a mindset of that it's a you know black and white situation for everyone. It's just not. Um, but I just think, again, I think still with everything going on in the world and in the United States, I think that by leading your whole campaign basically off of that topic, I think there's a lot of people that finally kind of woke up and was like, look, there are bigger issues going on in the world, like, than this. I just, and that's my belief. I think there's bigger issues in the world right now than whether or not we can kill babies. And, um, again, I know it's super controversial, but that's just kind of where I stand on it as far as I think there should be exceptions. I think there should be, I don't think that you should ban it completely. I think there's places for it in different cases, and it's hard for me to sit here and say what those exceptions should be. That's
I also just feel like it's kind of up to like your medical provider as well. Like, I know that the healthcare system is flawed and things like that, but I think that at the end of the day, I don't think that people that like men or just people in general that have no idea, like no healthcare knowledge, no not being a woman, things like that. Like, I don't think that it should be their decision at the end of the day. Like, I think that it should be between the patient and the healthcare representative. But, like, once again, you're going to get good and bad results with that as well because there's some shady people out there, shady doctors out there.
And then I hear like the argument, it's like my body, my choice. But then it's like, again, that's like a great area statement for me to hear, because I think like it's not just your body anymore, like, and I know that's like really a convenient thing for a guy to say that doesn't have to worry about having a baby inside him. And for all you fucks out there that disagree, no, a guy cannot have a baby. That's a whole different discussion, but it's while we're on it. So I know that's a really convenient and easy thing for a guy to sit here and say that, well, technically it's not just your body anymore. But in a sense, I do feel like there's a little bit of truth behind that. Whenever they say my body, my choice, it's like, yeah, well, there's technically two of you now. Like, and again, that's just another point, another argument, and just another side to it that I hear that made me think. I was like, well, if I was to try to strongman that and go back at it, it's like, well, it's not really just yours.
Well, like, I'm just saying, like, hypothetically, like, say.
But I know it feeds off of the woman, and it survives off the woman, so that's the other strongman bag.
I'm just saying, like, even if by like some alternate reality we ended up getting pregnant and all of a sudden I like completely flipped the script and was like, no, we can't do this, I need an abortion or whatever. I don't think that you would be, I don't want to say like stupid or anything like that, but like I'm just like picturing you trying to come at me and be like, like, I don't know.
Does a man have a say?
I think that, yeah, I would respect your opinion.
Traditional case of a relationship, since woman gets pregnant, not in one of those, bizarre exceptional cases of like a rape and incest, but just in a traditional relationship, since a woman gets pregnant, does a man have a right to say whether or not he wants that baby to be born?
I don't know because you don't he doesn't have to be a part of the life. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
But he really wants to be.
If he wants to, well, oh, okay, sorry.
The woman's like, I want the abortion, but the man's like, I don't, I want the baby.
Sorry, I flipped scripts there. I see what you're saying.
Should he have a right to say he wants this baby? That's my child. That child is half mine.
Yeah.
I want that child to be born.
I
in
don't know.
that,
I think
and
that's
then
really hard to like. Yeah.
in that sense, then it's like I feel like you kind of got to be a little bit of a twisted bitch to be like, don't care, killing the baby.
Yeah.
You know, you got this guy that wants it. It's kind of his child too, and then you're just like, don't care.
I mean, not kind of his child. Like it is his. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is his child. I mean, that child's part him, and it's like, it's pretty wild if you're just like, no, don't care.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. Like I said, I've never been in that
I mean,
situation.
yeah, it's
and,
all just
like,
hypothetical. I mean, I don't know.
and
I'm
like,
just,
I would like to think
I'm just
that we
throwing the
wouldn't be
ideas
in
around.
that, but
Yeah, I'm just throwing the ideas out there. It's a lot to think about, you know, and yeah, well, a couple other things that I think that if you truly are part of this America First movement that has been being pushed, um, maybe another unpopular opinion, I do not support Ukraine. I don't. I don't support fucking Israel. I don't support Ukraine. Israel's a very unpopular opinion. I'll probably catch heat for that, but I don't. What have they done for us, you know? They're like that annoying friend that anytime you go out with or you're around, like you always know they're gonna like end up in some shit. It's just like inevitable. They're that one head ass
that's
person.
you. That was you.
Yeah, it's like that's like what they are, Like every time they get in some shit, here they come calling, and they need missiles, and they need men, and they need money, and we start strapping together $1 billion care packages to send across the oceans, to who knows what, to continue for these two countries to, and I'm not saying what happened on October 7th wasn't tragic, and it absolutely was, but again, Israel's turned around. They're completely wiping out women, children. So let's not get all. Now you want to start calling out right and wrong, like. But again, away from that, the simple fact of the matter is, I don't have anything against those places, but until shit is in check here, no, I don't support those places. I don't support sending money. I don't support sending our troops over there to die in some war over there with countries that has nothing to do with us at all. Does not benefit the United States at all. No, I don't support that. And I don't give a damn what happens to those people over there. I don't. It has nothing. Not until streets are cleaned up here. Not until people in the United States, suicide rates through the roof. We have depression and anxiety like never seen before. Mental health crisis went unavoided for so long. There's just so many things here that strike me on a personal level that it makes me sick whenever I see our government officials sending billions and billions of dollars to these countries to fund these godforsaken wars of, again, shit that just absolutely has no effect, has nothing to do with us. And I'm sorry, I can't, I don't support that. I can't get behind it, and I just don't think it has anything to do with us. And in saying that, I do know Trump is also, the Republican Party. They're also pro-Israel and save the Jews and all that, and so that's one of the things I can say that I don't stand with Donald Trump on. And I disagree in that sense. I don't think we should be involved in these wars. I don't think we should be funding them. I don't think it should be any of our business what happens to those places. And if they want to bomb each other and they want to kill each other and slaughter each other, I think we should just let them have fun. Do whatever the hell you want. We don't care. Ukraine, you want to keep fucking around with Russia? You're going to find out. I don't know what to tell you. They told you multiple times to stop. You don't want to listen. Maybe they just need to have their judgment day. And but a little bit on a lighter note, we'll step away from that. Just a couple of points I was wanting to put out there. A couple of things that beliefs I wanted to put out there. It's exciting. I think it's an exciting time. Even the people that think that as of yesterday or today, they're now doomed and they think that Donald Trump's going to come in and be a dictator and destroy everything. Even you people are going to be okay. And I think that probably soon, hopefully within a couple of years, things will turn around. And I mean, we talked about it, it's like something's got to give. And I think that's a lot of Americans. That's what it came down to. A lot of people are just at the point where it's like something has got to give because we just cannot continue on the way that we have been. Wrapping it up, a little lighter note, we talked about this a little bit today. High school hoops starting up. When is it?
20 days.
20 days?
20 days until Carmi White County basketball is back.
Yo!
Okay.
Carmi, White County Bulldogs.
All right, Cole Carter, pipe down.
Shout out Cole Carter.
Honestly, you do a great job.
He does. I like listening to Cole. He's a good dude for it. He loves it. I know. I don't know if that guy gets enough props for the traveling and all the sports he covers and.
Yeah, that's been like the WRUL sports page has been pretty clutch for us. Like moving over here to Newburgh, I still like to keep up with I watch a lot of the volleyball games. We watch a lot of the basketball games, especially. We'll go to a few, but I mean with our work schedules and stuff like that, usually we have it pulled up on the TV. I didn't watch very many football games, but but.
No, I didn't.
But it is really nice to have. We look forward to the basketball game specifically. Girls and boys. Girls are killing it. Girls killed it last year.
Yeah, they did. Lost a couple of seniors, but look, I'm telling you, if you're watching this and you're not familiar, Mitchell Edwards from Carmi, if you have not watched him or you don't really know much about him and you're around this area and you like to watch some hoops and you want to watch someone that can really hoop and really play, and it's fun to watch, you should really pop out or check out the WRUL page, tune in, catch a Carmi game.
Yeah, try and go home. Go to Carmi's gym and go to a home game. I don't care what you say. Go into like a Carmi home game, like there's not an atmosphere like it.
He I'll probably spend a lot of time on the podcast talking about him. I've been watching him now since he's a freshman. I've followed him pretty closely. Watched him progress. He's come a long way. I played with him whenever we were living in Carmi. I was playing there on like Sundays. They'd open the gym. It was getting in there and getting a chance to actually play with him and stuff. And yeah, he especially for this area, he's on a different level. He 6'7", can shoot it better than anyone around. Gets up. I think, again, their key factor, though, will be Gavin.
Chase has been Gavin's hype man since day one.
Because people have sleeping on Gavin.
Yeah. And Chase has been saying that. So, Gavin, if you ever listen to this, my God, Chase has got you.
Yeah, Gavin's a hooper. He does the little, and last year especially the second half of the season last year, he really.
I was impressed. Yeah, I was impressed with him.
Defensively, he was getting after people's asses on defense.
Mm-hmm.
He was taking charges.
Who was that one kid that used to always take charges?
Tyler Gomez.
Yeah, I miss watching him play. He gave me anxiety to watch him play. He was a wild card, but I miss watching him play.
Yeah, I won't get too crazy on it, but I'm glad that Mitchell is staying in Carmi. his senior year, I think it could have been an easy decision to potentially try to get him maybe into Evansville, um, somewhere else, a little more exposure.
Chase is so excited about this basketball season that he's already looked at his work schedule and he's pretty sure he's off EHT week and CIT week. He is ready to go.
And Carmi's first 3 home games I'm off to. Or no, not the first one, but the second and third one.
I'm just saying, Chase doesn't plan ahead, and the fact that he's already planning ahead for the basketball season.
I mean, it's exciting. I think they'll be good, and again, and I think Mitchell's a real deal. You know, he's a college athlete hooper. I mean, he's probably one of, I don't know. He might be one of the best hoopers in the area since. I mean, he's not Tyler Smith Peters or nothing like that. I don't think. Not yet. I'm not saying he doesn't have that potential. I think he does. He's got the tools. He's got the height. He's got the shot.
I'd like to see him get pissed off a couple games. Really, just
Yeah,
let someone have it.
Yeah, he showed a couple of attitude a couple of times last year.
And
a couple
it's subtle.
of dunks.
It's so subtle. Yeah.
A couple of his dunks, he kind of piped up and got a little excited. But the area around here is just so soft with referees. And
I know.
he dunks on one person and halfway
Gets teed
flexes
up.
and gets teed up. Yeah, then Kevin Wolf wants to jerk him out of the game and yell at him and scold his ass for getting teed up. Like, that's a whole other thing. If Carmi had a halfway decent coaching staff,
Gabriel.
I'm just saying, it would be unreal if he had a real coach that knew how to work with him and could provide him the tools that he really needed. And hopefully he'll get at a college level, and probably this summer. I'd say he does. He's got training and coaches. I'd say probably people that are working with him. But still, regardless of that, they should be fun to watch. And yeah, again, I think Gavin's the key factor. I've been saying that. I think most of the key games that they win, there were plays down the stretches that he's normally involved in. Anytime there's a hustle or key play that happens, he's not far away.
No, he's always on the ground. He's always, I agree with that.
Anytime he steps to the free throw line, knocks down free throws, I think he gets a little discouraged. I think he gets a little down on himself, and I think that also comes back to some coaching errors in the way that they coach him. I think there's certain people that can be coached a certain way, and I'm not calling them soft or nothing like that. But there's just some people that are just yelling in their face all the time, or anytime you make one little mistake. And you see it with Gavin a lot. I watched it. How many times did I bitch about it the last 3 years? He makes one little mistake and his ass is out, getting yelled at on the bench. And it's like, you're not doing him any favors. He knows he made a mistake. Like, put him back in the game. And then he would leave him out for minutes at a time. And, like, you can't leave him on the bench. Like, that's your key guy. Somebody fucking tell this guy. Somebody call Kevin Wolf. Tell him, Gavin's your key guy. If you know him, call him. Tell him. Tell him to call me, I'll tell him. That's your guy.
Please don't tell him to call Chase.
Do you want some input? Call me.
No, please, for the love of God. Next.
I was just saying, they should have won about 6 more games than they won last year. But
What else are you excited for coming up?
really just hoops.
Really?
Really just excited about hoops, yeah. The other day at work, I forgot I was at work and I was talking to Tony and I said, World Series should be coming up soon, isn't it? And he was like, Game 1's tomorrow. World Series is already over. But yeah, I was like, damn, I haven't saw a single thing about baseball since like the All-Star break probably.
Been too busy in the politics.
Yeah, been too busy in the politics, and I mean, it's not the most fun stuff all the time, but
I just think it's interesting. We just talked about I took like 3 weeks off of work, And you're not even going to put that in your highlight reel? It's not even what you're looking forward to, you asshole?
You can take 3 weeks off work. I thought you...
For the holidays. I mean, not the consecutive.
Oh.
I said, is there anything you're looking forward to? You said, no, just oops.
I am looking... Well,
I know. Me too. I don't want to hang up.
No, I texted you last night on the way to work, and what did I say? This is the vibe I'm already getting. I was like, I'm feeling...
Hot or black coffee. It's
some black...
Can't be me.
Black coffee and Christmas lights. Walking down... Chili walks down the street in some random town, going to basketball games.
Yeah.
And... What was the other one? I don't remember. 3 things. But...
You said something about the holidays, which is interesting because you're not much of a holiday guy.
But I'm getting a holiday vibe already.
Yeah, I know.
Are you feeling it? Is it?
You're looking forward to spending so much family time.
Yes, I am. Can't wait.
All right, you ready to wrap this one up?
But yeah, we're gonna wrap it up. As always, thank you guys for the continued support. We love you guys. We appreciate it. Don't forget to hit that subscribe, like, follow, all of those good things. Tell your friends. Don't tell them for us. Tell them in case they need to hear something we said in this podcast. Probably not, but you never know.
We'll see you next week.
We will see you next week.
My belly hurts.
Your belly hurts.